Okay, guys, back again, and I forgot to do my review for Chucky Season 2, Episode 8, Chucky Actually, which is a spoof on Love Actually, I think is the title of the movie. Um, which is a really clever name. I think that's really funny for the title. I really have loved all the titles for each episode. I think that they do a good job of that. Um, so it's been a whole week since I've watched this. Everybody has seen it, so I kind of, since I just forgot to review it, I've kind of thought about it more and more, and I'm glad that I kind of waited, to be honest, to say my full feelings about it. It starts out with a young Dr. Mixter and Chucky, so they've had a relationship for a long time, and I think that's a great new elaboration that you didn't see throughout any of the Chucky movies or the show like so far. That's awesome. I really like how Dr. Mixter has been really connected throughout this franchise, even though you don't see her. And I do like Dr. Mixter, the name, because of course Halloween 2 reference. I think that's hilarious. And I think Don Mancini has said that that is because of Halloween 2, that reference, or that name as reference. Um, it starts out with an opening that continues on from the last episode where Chucky was killed, where Dr. Mixter and Chucky switch bodies. So then Dr. Mixter gets killed in the doll of Chucky, and that's what happens when Andy shoots Chucky in the face and his jaw flies out, which is still a great thing, a great moment in the show of Andy just blowing up Chucky's face. That was awesome. Um, and the episode after this starts as a Christmas episode at Lexi's house. And we haven't seen Christmas in Chucky or any of the films, which is really weird because I heard with the first or the second movie that it was going to be around Christmas time or going to be on Christmas time whenever Andy got Chucky or Andy would be chasing Chucky. But that never happened. Child's Play 1 is set in the fall, so I'm guessing it's around Christmas. But they didn't say in that movie. And Child's Play 2 is in the summertime, it looks like, so they didn't say that either in that one. But I've heard rumors that that was what was going to happen in one of the first two movies, where it was going to be Christmas time, which is such a surprising thing they haven't done so far in this franchise. Like, they haven't done anything Christmas related. I know we had Seed of Chucky, where it's the movie within a movie. Chucky goes psycho, where Chucky and Tiffany kill the Jason Fleming Santa, but that's really brief in Seed of Chucky. It's not like it's a big point in the movie. This episode is about is a Christmas episode, so that's great. I thought it was interesting that the reveal in the credits, the opening credits, gave the reveal away that I was excited for. I wish that they didn't give the reveal in the opening credits, but it said Billy Boyd is in this episode, and I'm like, you could have just not said that because I was excited for Billy Boyd to somehow return, because he hasn't voiced Glenn or Glinda since Seed of Chucky. So that's great. I wish that they didn't say that in the opening credits or the opening titles. Like, I wish that they would have not shown that. But it's fine because I was still excited no matter regardless of that. Um, they do a good job with Lexi here, where she goes to rehab, and has cleaned herself up, and all the kids are good getting over this. It's been another year since the Catholic school incident. Um, while this is happening, Glinda is visiting Glenn, who is injured and is dying, and Glinda goes to see Glenn and make sure Glenn's okay. While this is happening with the Lexi, Jake, and Devin story. I think this is awesome that Chucky just says in the episode, like, I'm gonna get a chainsaw, a silent chainsaw. I've earned it. And you see, like Batman and Robin, Chucky has a card that says Chucky on it, and it's a red credit card, which I think is hilarious. That's genuinely funny. Um, and again, while this is all happening, Glinda and Tiffany bring the Glenn doll um, to the hospital where Glenn is, and they fully transfer the soul of both of them back into the Glenn doll. Glenn/Glinda doll, I guess. But before that, they do a defibrillator kill where Tiffany and Glinda put the defibrillators on this guy's head, and his head burst into fire, which I thought was really, really silly but fun. It kind of reminded me of the first Child's Play where the psychiatrist gets like the thing on his head where he's getting shocked and his face kind of looks like charred hamburger. I thought it reminded me of that a little bit, but more gruesome. Um, Now this is interesting because, like I said, with Glenn and Glinda, they are now back in the body of the Glenn doll from Seed of Chucky, which I think is great. I love seeing that back. I love hearing Billy Boyd's voice for these characters, but um, it's interesting because the way they progress these two characters, Glenn and Glinda in the show, I think is great because Lachlan Watson is just a good actor. And I really enjoyed the performance of Lachlan Watson. So it's sad to see the actor go, actor slash actress. I don't know how to say the right word for a person who's identified as they them. I don't know if I should say actor or actress. I don't know, but I mean that's all kind of new to me. But the actor is great. Lachlan Watson is fantastic, and I loved the performance of Lachlan Watson in this show. And it's sad to see them go and it's cool to see Billy Boyd back, but it's just sad to see the actor slash actress go because I really liked the performance that they did. It was great. And looking at what happens, they become whole together. Glenn and Glinda become whole into the doll body again, which is the opposite of something in real life where you've got like people who identify as non-binary where they just identify as neither gender. But in this one, it made it to where they're non-binary, but in Seed of Chucky, they were both a boy and a girl until they decided not to be. So it's interesting to see in real life versus this show where like in real life, somebody is born a gender and then they decide not to identify as either. And then in this, they are not genders, but then they go together into this doll body, two different souls together. Like I just thought that was interesting. Like kind of like I just think that's fascinating. I thought that was interesting what they did with that. And it's great to see Billy Boyd's voice again, or to hear Billy Boyd's voice again. And Glenn slash Glinda is now this now the doll. And I like that they've got the accent again, the England accent, and Tiffany's like, where's that accent coming from? I don't understand. Even though she should already know that because she was Tiffany in Seed of Chucky. But it's interesting that Glenn and Glinda go back to that Billy Boyd voice in English, or in England voice. So it's weird that they're doing that just because Lachlan Watson, the actor, was not speaking that language or that the dialect. So that's really interesting that they went back to that. But I know they have to because Glenn and Glinda in the Seed of Chucky was from England. So it's interesting to see that difference. But I like that Glinda's name is now Gigi. And I like that line. I don't know why. It's such a simple line, but I like when they say Gigi, call me Gigi. Like I like that line. Like it's such a simple line, but I thought it was executed well with Billy Boyd's voice. So I like the Glenn and Glinda stuff. I thought that was well done. I like that the three kids, Lexi, Devin, and Jake, are kind of talking about their futures and are they going to become like Andy and Kyle because Chucky's taking over or has taken over their lives and got to ruin their lives and he's never going to go away. And I do like that because that is a precursor to probably what these characters will go through. And also you get the Jake and Devin relationship where they finally stop being like fighting against each other and they make out and they make up. So they're a couple again, which is good. I thought those characters were fine. I liked seeing them together. I thought it worked. The thing with Tiffany, I like how Tiffany in this episode, after the Glenn Glinda thing, she's trying to get the Belle doll. That Belle doll that they've been talking about throughout this whole season. They've got a Belle doll that is the doll from Bride of Chucky that Tiffany transferred her soul into. Or that Chucky transferred Tiffany's soul into in Bride of Chucky. So Tiffany wants this doll to go back to a doll form. And she goes into the house, and Lexi's mom sees Jennifer Tilly in this house, or Tiffany, Jennifer Tilly, go into this house, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're Jennifer Tilly. I got to take a video live stream of this." And it's like, this person, no matter who she is, broke into your house in the dark, and like you're like excited because she's a celebrity. Like, I thought that was weird, but I mean, of course it's silly. Like, of course it's gonna be. And I thought that was funny because the next thing that happens is fantastic, with Chucky getting that silent chainsaw, jumping off of those stairs, sawing Chucky saws Lexi's mom like in half, and like her face like he literally chops her into two pieces. It's like Terrifier, but it's honestly not as gory. Like, it's still gory, definitely, but it's not like you see the full thing. You kind of see the aftermath, but it's still well done, and it's really cool, and it's on TV, so I understand. What they could do with the violence in this, I think, is really outstanding for a TV show. But again, Don Mancini is connected to Hannibal, which was a very violent show as well on NBC. Great show as well. I haven't finished that yet, but I want to finish it. But I've really loved what I've seen of Hannibal, and it is violent and dark, and it is really effective. And this is no different because it's really good with the gore. So I thought that was a great kill with Lexi's mom getting sawed in half. And Chucky now is against Tiffany and Glenn and Glenda. Tiffany won't say where Glenn and Glenda went. And while this is happening, Lexi just saws Chucky's head in half. And the kids, Jake and Devin, start stabbing Tiffany. And I think that's surprising, and I like that. And then you get the big twist that Chucky took over Caroline, where like Caroline says that she was adopted and she wasn't really Lexi's like sister, and Lexi's like, I don't understand. Is this true? And I thought that was good, but then Tiffany and Caroline escape, and then the teacher from the first season randomly pops up and takes Jake and Devin and Lexi, which I thought was interesting. So maybe she's connected to this. She's a redhead, so I thought she might be. But then we get to a weird ending where Tiffany and Caroline are in New York City, which is interesting. And Tiffany's got this like short black hair, like this low kind of thing. And it looks like a helmet on her head, that kind of hair. And Nika calls and says that she knows where Tiffany is. And it looks like she's got a sniper. And Nika says that she talks to Glenn and Glenda all the time, so Glenn and Glenda's on her side, and I thought that was good. And then this reveal, which I was surprised, because the first episode, it really implied it, but I just forgot because this was so well done, in which the Belle doll was just Chucky the whole time, and the Belle doll, Chucky just like wipes away the makeup of this doll, and he's wearing the wedding dress. He goes up and stabs Tiffany, I guess, but you don't see it. So Tiffany's probably alive still. Of course, she's not going to die. And then we get a 12 Days of Christmas by Chucky, where Chucky sings about stabbing people, which was great. I really thought this was a great episode, and I really love this show, and I just can't wait for, hopefully, I know they have to renew it for season 3. They have to renew it because I really am digging the hell out of it. It's just, Chucky's one of my favorite horror franchises, and I really love this episode. Like I said, I love the whole season, the first season as well. It's just such a well done show, and I really love the fact that Don Mancini is still doing this. It's just so well done with everything that he does for this franchise and all the people he gets involved. It's just a really effective, funny, and violent show, and I love this season so much. But yeah, that's it for Chucky season 2 episode 8. Definitely, or no, Chucky maybe, which, like I said, is a great title. That's hilarious. But yeah, great time, no problems really here. Had a lot of fun with it. And yeah, that's it for today. I'll see you guys in the next review. Take care.